Greetings, adventurers. I'm Dragorath, and welcome back to Tasty Planet, where I'm going to keep ranting about books. So, yeah, back to my book rant, because that's actually not a bad topic. So, yeah, I have a fascination with some books and survival and stuff, which is great. So, and I don't know. I really don't know what it is about it. There's something about it that almost seems, how should I put it? There's something that almost seems fascinating about, not that I wish it would happen to me or anything, but just being out there and surviving like that. There's something in my brain, kind of like, that would be interesting to experience. If I were to go to like a controlled area, everybody knew where I was at and stuff like that. I said, I'll be back at this time. If I'm not back, I'll send someone, kind of deal. But, honestly, yeah, I hear that people that go through, those kinds of scenarios and stuff change. Sometimes for the better. They just become better people. It makes them stronger. And I'm like, maybe I should do that. Sometimes the thought crosses my mind. What if I went out there, told everybody, hey, I'm gonna go live in the woods with nothing for a week. Wish me luck. And then just come back and see, how I've changed or what's happened to me. Because I've heard it can be extremely therapeutic to do. Just completely on my own. I probably wouldn't lose my mind necessarily, but I think I could handle well enough. I don't think I'd be thriving or anything, especially only being out there for like a week. I don't think I'd be thriving or, I don't think, it's not, this is not the forest. You're not going to have to fight cannibals. Yeah, that's not going to happen. But you're not going to chop down a tree in 5 swings either. So, that is another thing about it. And that's something a lot of people don't realize is how difficult it can actually be to do tasks like that. It's crazy. It's crazy because I've legit heard people go, oh, I know what I'm doing. I can survive in any situation. It's like, the thing is that you don't know that. It's good to learn the skills to do so, but in a actual dire situation where you're stranded out there or something, you don't know how you're going to react, and you don't know. You don't know. You just... For example, I was watching a guy, it was some reaction channel or something like that, and they had a survival instructor for, what was it? It was like the British Special Forces or something, and he was reacting to The Forest, the game, and when he looked at it, he was like, this is completely unrealistic, and he said, well, certain things he was like, yeah, it seems logical or whatever, but other things he was like, completely unrealistic, especially when it came to like chopping trees and stuff. But one thing he did say, he said, you can get on a plane and have clothes and stuff for t-shirt weather, but where you crash could be, you could have your t-shirt and shorts on when you get on the plane and leave, but where you crash could be extremely cold, and you could, have been unconscious and start freezing to death by the time you woke up. It's like, yeah, that's, in that case, you gotta find shelter quick. You gotta get over your shock fast and try to get warm. And I think that's one of the things that'd be hard to overcome with getting stranded. It's the initial shock of it, just like, oh, this really happened to me, kind of deal. And I heard of, I'm trying to remember the guy's name, but it was in the 1800s, I believe. and he had gotten stranded. I think it was on an island off the coast, like New Zealand or something like that. But he was out there for a while, and when they found him, you know, they say that he was absolutely thriving. He was doing extremely well for himself, but he had lost his fucking mind, and that the only word he knew was marooned. That's the only word he could say, was marooned. Like, Jesus Christ. And I think he was out there for only like 8 months. But apparently he was doing really well. Building, you know, structures and had a nice little hut living in and stuff. I'm like, damn. It's pretty great. And, I mean, look at one of my favorite movies when I was younger was Castaway, funny enough. And getting older, the more I hate it. Because I know it's a movie, but I see the absolute flaw in the fact that he's perfectly fine adapting back to society after, you know, being stranded on an island for 4 fucking years. And that is absolutely completely unrealistic. He probably would have been acting like an actual ape or something. Just absolutely lost it. Being, or I guess you could say, I wouldn't say like an ape, but be skittish, like an animal, I think is the best way to put it. I don't mean like he's gonna Unga Bunga go back to caveman, but possibly? Heck, I mean, honestly, I think some people wouldn't have even tried to escape. They would have just been like, well, this is my life now. I'm stuck here forever. And that kind of shit does happen too. You got people that get stranded, and the first thing they do is try to make themselves comfortable because they go, well, this is my life now. End of the line. I'm out here forever for the rest of my life. It's like, I mean, to an extent, maybe, possibly, but, you know, not necessarily. Don't be... And I think a part of that also has to do with panic. I think that'd be like the biggest factor to get over getting stranded is the initial shock. Just, oh my god, I'm stuck out here. I'm gonna die out here. Oh no, you gotta get your panicking out of the way first. So, oh man, it's kind of funny. It's like I've always told my friends, we've always had the apocalypse talks. I'm sure everybody's had the apocalypse talks. Like, oh yeah, if an apocalypse like this were to happen, what would you do? And da-da-da. And I remember one of my friends was like, if an apocalypse were to happen, what would you want? And I said, nuclear. He goes, why? You know, you'd probably die instantly. I'm like, that's the point. I don't want to stick around and see that shit. I'd rather, you know, some kind of nuclear meltdown or, you know, something happen. Because I don't want to see, you know, what the world goes to after anything else. Okay. Where's the nectar, huh? Yeah, give me that nectar. Yeah, sweet, sweet nectar. But, yeah, I wouldn't want to stick around and see that shit. Why would I want to stick around for the apocalypse? Jesus. Getting stranded is one thing. The world absolutely ending is another. Altogether. So, frankly, I'd rather just get stranded than see the world end. At least, you know, if I get stranded or something, I'll be okay. Kind of. If I don't die upon the initial impact or something, you know, it's like... And like I said, I'm not saying that, oh yeah, guaranteed I would survive. I wouldn't know what the hell, you know. I would have a basic understanding of how to do things, but... I don't think I would be okay for a little while. I think I'd probably go crazy fairly quick, actually. I'd start talking to my tools and be like, yes, Jonathan, I can't believe you're here for me. I wonder at what point could isolation like that make you start hallucinating? And just, you know, absolutely actually lose it. And then you just kind of starve to death because you don't know anything. That's, you know, like you actually like go full loony bin, can't tell reality from fiction kind of thing. You know, I mean, I've heard of like people having mirages and stuff, but I mean, like actually just kind of losing it. Oh my god, my phone is exploding right now. Someone better be dying because I'm busy. Well, somebody better not be dying, but I'm playing video games, damn it. Oh, hi. Hi, ma'am. Yeah. Yep, okay. Well, we are just doing our thing, huh? Come here. Just eating people, I guess. That's part of the game, so I might as well just keep doing it. Regardless. Yeah, but regardless, I'm getting way off topic. I got plenty of books on it because it fascinates me. Just, you know, how our ancestors did things, and how they survived and lived. So, I'm very interested in that kind of stuff. Would I want to experience some sort of tragedy like that? Absolutely not. Would I be able to handle myself? Who knows? But I still think it's fascinating regardless. And that's it's kind of funny. I've heard of people like, you know, wish tragedy upon themselves. I'm like, why do that? You know, you know, why wish tragedy upon yourself like that? There's no reason for it. You gotta, but why? I guess some people are just gluttons for punishment or something, but, or they feel like they deserve it or whatever, but, you know, truth is nobody deserves that. Nobody deserves anything bad to happen to them. Unless you've done something really fucking bad. Don't worry, be happy. Alright. We're the tiny bee. Ah, a mouse pad. We're a tiny bee where you nectar gonna get big. Get all the other bees and gnats. But, yeah, and I do have a fascination with games like The Forest and Subnautica and stuff like that, purely because that's it. You know, you're stranded, go fight to survive, and, you know, escape, get somewhere, do something, you know. And I've always been kind of fascinated by that concept. Like I said, I think Gary Paulson writing Hatchet and the fact that I had to read it in school back in elementary school was crazy. I think it was like 3rd or 4th grade? Might have been 5th grade. I'm about 90% sure now that it was 5th grade that we read it. But, yeah. And then I was like, oh my god, I want to read more. And I found out they had a whole series. They had like 5 other fucking books. I begged my mom to take me to the library and start checking them out so I could read them. And, my mom took me to the library. I got the next book, which was called Brian's Winter. And they had Brian's Return, and I can't remember like the other 2 or 3 books, but yeah, they were great. But it gets kind of crazy because in one of the books, it does kind of touch on that. Like, oh, it changes people topic. Where it was in Brian's Return, he comes back home, and the kid, he's a kid. You know, like the main character, he's like a kid. He's like a teenager. And he has trouble readjusting back to normal school life because of what he went through, you know? So, and I thought that was absolutely, back then, I didn't really think too much of it. But getting older and, you know, getting wiser and more educated on those kinds of topics when it comes to survival and stuff. I'm like, oh. Oh, that's why. You know, people going through those kinds of events can be traumatic also. But like I said, I've heard doing it willingly can be therapeutic and can be good for you. And it's something I would love to give a try one day. It's almost like, I would think about it more like a camping trip. Except for, I don't bring supplies. And, you know, I have a backup plan in case if everything goes to shit. So, I have to make sure I'm safe first and foremost. So that my life isn't actually in danger. So, I think that would be good one day. Maybe I can have that arranged. Maybe I'll document it. You know, who knows? If I ever get the chance to do something like that and you want to see it, I will document it and definitely upload it on here. Like, no clickbait, no fake caca. Actual raw Devon's out in the woods. You know, being an idiot. What did you build? The first thing I did, didn't need shelter. I built a giant dick with balls. And it's kind of funny because more primitive tools and stuff like fire bows and whatnot, they're actually not that hard to make. You know, and we're doing stuff in Boy Scouts back when I was younger too. You learn a lot. Kind of like if you're trying to start a fire with 2 sticks, you want to use speed over pressure. You want to go fast, but don't push down too hard because otherwise that's how you get blisters and fuck up your hand. Also, I was always good at lighting fires, thankfully. That sounds kind of scary, but I was always good with fires. Thankfully. I wasn't the brightest crayon in the box, but I was at least good at one thing, and that was pyromania. That was a joke. I in no way indulged pyromania or anything of that sort. So, just want to let YouTube know that was good. But yeah, there's a lot that I learned with Boy Scouts and stuff like that. Funny enough, it's kind of funny. There's still, you know, little things that there's probably little things that I don't even think about. That I might still use. You know, kind of like some things just kind of become unconscious after you do them for long enough. It's kind of like when I'm in a bit more when I'm in a more business setting, I guess is the best way to put it. Well, I'm in a more professional setting. It's kind of funny. My brain still jumps back to back when I was in ROTC. And I posture myself certain ways to look more professional. To look more, I wouldn't say menacing, look more stern. Look more, look like I know what the fuck I'm doing. Yeah, I don't think stern was the best way to put it either. But, yeah. Wait a minute, World War II fighter plane, what year is this? I didn't think that went through. Hold on. Are they having a damn air show or something out here? Nobody told me. I'd like to go see that. Actually, I've gotten to see the Blue Angels twice before, and that shit's cool. I've gotten to see them do flybys and their little aerial shows. I always thought that stuff was awesome. Especially back when I was a kid. I thought it was like the coolest thing ever. It's like, oh my god, the Blue Angels are so cool. Now I'm older, I'm like, that shit's dangerous. Like, that shit is extremely dangerous. They got a lot of experience to be able to fly planes like that. I just gotta say that. I just gotta get out of the water. Like, I wouldn't be able to do it. Hell no. I could barely fly a remote control helicopter. What makes anybody think I could fly a plane? I mean, if push came to shove, maybe I could try. Maybe. If I, you know, had no other choice, it was that or possibly die. Yeah. Maybe then I could fly a plane, but I'm not sure. I really don't know. I've never tried to fly a plane. Like I said, I can barely fly a remote control helicopter. And keep it upright, you know. I'm not the best with things that fly. I remember one time, speaking of things that fly. I don't know why I remembered this. I was a teenager, and we were doing something, I don't remember. But my stepdad had a friend over, and I stepped outside. As soon as I stepped outside, a wasp landed on the back of my ear and stung me. And so I just stepped outside, said, fuck, and then ran back inside. And they didn't know what happened. They were like, what happened? I'm like, a wasp stung me. Yeah, that was funny. God, I'm eating entire islands. Jesus. How far is this gonna go, huh? Apparently pretty far. Jesus. Oh my god. I'm huge. I'm massive. Again. I don't know how big this damn bee can get. Your wings wouldn't work out here, my god. There's no wind. There's no air for you to fly with. Oh my god. Those aren't even real continents. Jesus. Well, I destroyed the earth again. Alright, shark. What is this one? An orca. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, look, I got more cat levels. Fish to fry. Using the latest in shark killing tech, we virtually eradicated the basking shark from this region. These villains of the sea will torment us no more. Hurrah! Torment you? Have they ever attacked anyone? No. Don't they only eat plankton? True. So why are you killing them? Well, they get stuck in our fishing nets and cost us money. You've brought an entire species to the brink of extinction to save on fishing gear? Of course, they're just sharks basking and layering. We destroyed thousands of them already. Be surprised if there are any left. Oh, and this tiny little shark is pissed. Eating a little fry. But, yeah. Yeah, you ever just remember something and you're like, why do I remember this? You're like, what? I forgot this happened. Sometimes I just do that. Sometimes it just hits me. Like, I did that. Meeting one of my stepdad's friends for the first time, and I'll step outside and say, fuck him, and walked inside. I don't remember why. I don't know why. Well, because I got stung by a wasp. I know why, but I just don't know why I just all of a sudden remembered it. Funny story. Oh, man. I will say, there's one thing I haven't done. I haven't shit my pants. I will say that. I did rip my pants in high school, funny enough. Yeah, like, I squatted down or something, and my pants ripped right up the fucking ass crack. And I was like, oh my god. Of course. Like, of all the things to happen that could have happened to me. I think I was a junior at the time, too. I was like, oh my god. Yeah, I don't know why. I always end up destroying pairs of pants. I don't know, maybe I'm rough with my legs or something. I don't know. There's a reason behind it. I just can't figure it out. Is there nothing else I can... Oh, there's more. I can jump over here. Duh. Look, I can eat these things now. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, screw those jellyfish. Are those ducks? You ever seen a shark eat a duck before? What the hell is that? Ow, it hurts. Oh, what a dick. It just looks like a stupid fish. But it hurts. Oh my god, I can eat ducks. Hold up. Mallard duck. Damn. I've never actually been duck hunting, funny enough. I've been hunting a lot. I've never been duck hunting. Maybe I should try that out one day. I don't know. Probably not a bad idea. Maybe one day. Well, you shall see. Feeling crabby. Oh, it's this level again. Damn it. Didn't they already do this in Tasty Blue with the goldfish? Pretty sure it was like one of the first goldfish levels. Oh god. You're just eating crabs. Puget Sound king crab. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Yeah. Yeah. Crab. Time for crab. Best thing about Dark Souls, time for crab. Are you jelly? Yes, I'm very fucking jelly. Yeah. Everyone who hasn't played this game should probably play it. It's fun. So, like I said, I'm pretty sure the games are relatively cheap. So, let's say you're not gonna spawn anything else. Jeez. Screw me out of my win, why don't you? Oh man. I think I know what I need. Why is that jellyfish? That jellyfish shouldn't be upside down. That one's dead, apparently. Oh no. Do jellyfish die? What even is a jellyfish? Actually, yeah, what the fuck is a jellyfish? Oh my god, I just realized what they are. They're just a blob of tissue floating around that somehow thinks. Oh my god. It's kind of terrifying. Ugh. Sea creatures and stuff are weird. And that's the thing, you know, there's sea creatures out there that we don't even know exist yet. They're probably, you know, like dinosaurs or something. It's gonna scare shit out of me when I find out that they exist. When I find out they exist. I've dealt with enough, you know, gators and shit. So, that's a, you know, cool thing. I've actually held alligators before, too. So, that's fun, too. Anyone ever held an alligator before? I've held one. They're pretty, they sit there, like, especially, like, little ones. They'll sit there and they'll, like, croak. They'll sit there and croak almost like a damn frog. I don't think I've only heard a few adult alligators actually, like, croak like that, though. Yeah, it's kind of weird, but regardless. Anyways, that's all the time I got for this part. We're about halfway done with the game, so thank you all for watching. Check out some of the stuff that I've played. If you want more Tasty Playing Forever, check out my playlist. I'll see all of you guys in the next one. Bye, everybody.